Hello, hello. Back to our world today where we will be talking about love. Now, the question has been asked, is love enough to keep a marriage going? What is love? How do we love? How do we receive love? We'll be looking at all those questions today. Now, fundamentally, love is an action word. And the Bible says, "For God so loved the world that he gave his only begotten Son, that whoever believe in him should not perish but have everlasting life." Now, love has an element of sacrifice in it. It has an element of action, of giving. And the Bible equally says that God daily loaded us with benefits. In other words, God is showing up daily, weekly, monthly with acts of love to affirm his love for us. And in the same capacity, in relationships, the each other, we have to show up daily, weekly, monthly with acts of love to root and to deepen our love relationships. Therefore, is love enough to keep a marriage going? The answer is emphatically yes. But what kind of love keeps a marriage going? Now, Gary Chapman says there are different ways that individuals receive love. Therefore, you can be loving productively and you can be loving unproductively or be counterproductive in the way you love your spouse, because different people receive love differently. Therefore, there is a correct way to love a certain individual and an incorrect way to love the same individual. Gary Chapman says that even as people are fluent in five, three, four, two languages, love also has a language, and we are most comfortable, we are most secure in receiving love in a certain language. Même comme si je parle français, moi je ne suis pas très confortable avec le français comme je suis confortable avec l'anglais. In other words, I am more comfortable speaking English than I am speaking French, even though I speak the two languages. And I'm sure it's the same with you. There is a language of comfort, convenience that you have. So Gary Chapman says there are five love languages, five different ways that people receive and people give love. And one or two of these love languages will speak loudly to you than the others. It does not cancel the fact that the other love languages are important, but one resonates louder for certain individuals. One or two may resonate louder. Now, these five love languages, Gary Chapman came up with them after 3 decades of counseling different thousands of individuals and different case studies. He came up with this book. It has been translated into 40 languages. It sold millions of copies, remains a top bestseller in many bookshelves and many book companies. Now, what are these five languages that Gary Chapman came up with 30 years ago? They are acts of service, words of affirmation, quality time, gifts, and physical touch. Now, with acts of service simply means having something done for you. For some people, receiving an act of service resonates loudly with them, doing something for them, whether it be the ironing, the cooking, the cleaning, the taking care of the kids, or booking a show, booking an event, organizing a birthday. These are acts of service, things that you do to make another person's life more comfortable, more convenient. Another love language is physical touch, and physical touch not is not sexual touch. It is actually non-sexual touch, but physical touch simply means a hug, a holding of the hands, something that you do to affirm somebody physically is physical touch. Sitting closely, um, holding that person, giving the person a hug. These are physical touch, and these are symbolic for some people more than others. Another one is quality time, spending time. And by quality time, we do not mean spending time with other people, but spending time alone, together, having physical and eye to eye contact, facial contact, reading facial and body languages, and listening to tones and voices. For some people, this is actually what they receive as love. As love, quality time, spending quality time with the person that they love. Another love language is gifts. For some people, giving gifts is a major way that they receive love. And for the gift receiver, it is not the magnitude or the quantity of the gift that matters, but it is the intentionality, it's the thought that matters to them. So, a flower picked at the back of the garden and a ticket to Dubai, a holiday to Dubai means the same thing, has the same equivalent value to the person who is a gift receiver. It's all about the thought that you thought about them, that they needed something, and that you provided it to for them. That is what the gift receiver receives as love. For some other people, it is words of affirmation. By words of affirmation, we mean the uplifting words, the words of recognition, appreciation, thanks. These words of affirmation: you look good in that dress, or you look handsome in that suit. Oh, I am proud of you. Or you're such a great provider. You're such a good cook. You're so good with the kids. And all these words of affirmation: you're good at your job. You're good at what you do. I love the way your hair looks today. Or I love the way your beard looks today. Or I just love that perfume you're wearing. All these words of affirmation boost the ego or the morale of some people more than it does for others. And it's equally important for everybody to be affirmed, but for the person who words of affirmation means a lot to them, it is significant that they receive love in that capacity. For others, it is so quality time, words of affirmation, acts of service, physical touch, and gifts. So we've looked at the different ways that people receive love, and it's important that you understand how your partner receives love, and which love language speaks louder to them, and to speak that love language as frequently and as often as you can, because it's not a matter of proximity of space, it's a matter of proximity of hearts. Therefore, we know that we are emotional beings, and therefore we have an emotional love tank. And just as you cannot drive a car on an empty tank, you cannot drive a love relationship without the emotional tank being full. Therefore, it's important to check on each other emotionally, check on how they are doing, and check whether if they are receiving love, or they are feeling your love to them. So it's important to constantly make these checks and balances are very necessary to keep a relationship thriving. So check in emotionally with your significant other, how they are feeling emotionally, and top up that emotional tank, because nobody can go the distance with an empty emotional tank. The relationship will not be healthy, it will not be thriving. And keeping the emotional love tank full, or as full as possible, consists it helps with friction, reduces friction in the relationship. You are more forgiving, you are more tolerant, you overlook the little molehills, you do not turn the molehills into mountaintops. You are able to overlook, you're able to forgive easily, you're able to stay connected emotionally. Your hearts are warm towards each other. And remember that closeness is not a question of proximity. It's not you could be together in a room, sitting an inch apart from each other, and feeling alone, and feeling unloved, and unemotionally attached, because it's not proximity of bodies, but it's proximity of hearts. And that's where the emotional love tank lies, and that's where the emotional aspect of the person lies, where we need to consistently check in on. I'll be back to talk about love. Stay tuned. There's so much more in store. Bye.